Hello again, fellow basement dwellers. This is your good friend Patrick O'Dowd, welcoming you into a special Saturday live edition of Bandwagon Nerds. Bandwagon Nerds is, of course, a part of the Chairshot Radio Network here on thechairshot.com, where we remind you to always use your head. And that thumbs up if you're watching live
Chairshot.com. Always use your head.
means that PC Tunney has given us the go ahead to not start over. And that's always an exciting moment. Look at you go. Look at us go. Look at us go. We are streaming live. There, Sunny is showing. It's like I'm looking into a mirror. We are streaming live today, Saturday on YouTube. Thank you, everyone, if you are listening to us live and joining us. This will, of course, be on the regularly scheduled podcast time of Monday. No matter when or how you are listening to us, though, make sure you like us, subscribe, bookmark thechairshot.com. Do everything you need to do to follow us and keep up with our content. That way, you know when we do a special live show out of nowhere, because Patrick didn't want to do a show on Sunday because of his job, like his real job. It sucks.
The
I
real
forgot,
world
by the way.
sucks, man.
It does. By the way, I would be remiss if I did not introduce the rest of the panel today. Of course, it's your usual bandwagoners. We've got the commissioner, executive vice president of allchairshot.com programming, Mr. PC Tunney. We have the lawyer himself, David Ungar. And we have quite the show today, everybody, to talk about, because this was a must weekend for me to be here for a podcast, in my humble opinion, because we knew I missed San Diego Comic-Con. I did not want to miss Destination D23, because Friday night, last night, was the entertainment panel from Destination D23, which is always going to be of particular interest to this podcast, because we cover, all things Marvel and Star Wars for the most part. And Destination D23 is their Comic Con. And yes, there was a Marvel panel at San Diego Comic Con, and they revealed a bunch of stuff, special Doomsday footage. Well, turned around, knew we were going to get more, similar sort of deal. My biggest quibble with Destination D23, and I was talking about this to Tony before we went on the air, is that Disney, this is a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where they have special panels every night, akin to Hall H. They have an entertainment panel, they have a Disney experiences panel, and they have their Legends ceremony, their Disney Legends ceremony. They live stream two of the three of those on Disney Plus. You know which one they don't live stream, kids? They don't live stream the entertainment panel, because they want that to have that feeling of exclusivity. Now, in fairness, that is the panel that brings the most celebrities, and we're going to talk about that when we get into this day. For down the road, we covered D23, like so many actors, actresses, stars, directors, Hollywood people were there. The event itself was in California at Disneyland, or around Disneyland in that area. So it makes a lot of sense that they're having that. It just annoys me. It annoys me. So, but Dave, we missed you last week, man. You chose love over the podcast. You chose the hoe over the bros, if you will.
That's right, bro. Romance over bromance last week, anyway. And it was about escaping triple digits, like deep into the triple digit heat out here.
Boy, I sure thought you were going to say escaping Tunney and I was like, there's no escape from us.
No, when you're driving back and the thermometer on your car reads 115, it's hot out. I don't care how dry it is. That's pretty hot.
And that's what we're dealing with. You want me to come visit that shit? Like, well, no, you're like, let's go to Disneyland.
I don't want you to come to Bakersfield, Pat. I would not suggest that to you.
Come where it's 9 million degrees in August. Good times.
No, Anaheim's, I mean, you can maybe hit the 90s if things go wrong, but usually you're in the high 70s, low 80s this time of year. So that's not terrible. It's not great, but no humidity. So, I mean, you got to take that into consideration.
It is a lovely 81 degrees out, 77 actually right now. mostly sunny and 77. There you go, kids. You're a middle-aged old guy weather report. Let me sip my coffee, which is black, by the way.
I'm not going to say it.
Oh, true story. So I was at the I went and saw the Violent Femmes on Thursday. This past Thursday, Violent Femmes were playing near me at an outdoor venue that we have, and my boss and his wife were there. And I don't remember how the conversation got to it, but at one point we were talking about coffee, and I was like, one of them was like, "Oh, so you like your coffee black?" And I was like, "Yes, just like my women."
At least you said women, so you didn't go fully airplane quoting, so that's all right.
Well, I don't. I mean, I'm not gay. So if I were gay, I would have said by men. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony's sitting there looking at us like,
Altered-
what are you guys doing?
Altered the
man?
quote just to make it make sense.
Yeah, I just watched we had 5 or 6 viewers. Now we're down to 1 after the last.
Oh, well, shit happens. Well, hey,
Well, that's
let's actually talk about what's going to go on the show today. We of course need to wrap up our coverage of X-Men 97. We did not cover episode 8 last week without you, Dave. We did a special 5x5 episode actually that Greg DeMarco let me know some of his feelings about some of my personal worst shows of all time. Not in a bad way, not in a week. We didn't fight about it. He provided a different perspective than mine.
You and I were more measured than we probably should have been last week. I think we could have provided a little bit. I mean, it was a great show. I think we could have provided a little more drama in the.
We could have yelled at each other
if we wanted to, but we decided not to.
So, Dave, I'm assuming you didn't have a chance to catch the show. Like, I don't know if you listened
I
to
caught parts of it that was going on, but I couldn't catch all of it. So I saw what you guys were doing.
Greatest of all time shows versus our 5 what I call goats in the hero and the goat conversation. And 3 of my 5 are literally like some of the biggest sitcoms in history, not just of the era that they played, like literally in history. As I railed on Seinfeld, The Office, and Friends. And then I also got to explain to Tunney. I got to explain to Tunney what Cop Rock was, because Tunney had never heard of Cop Rock. Have you heard of Cop Rock?
Yeah, I think I have. I don't remember. It sounds familiar.
Oh yeah, it was a 1980s cop drama that was also a musical. It lasted like 8 episodes. It's terrible. Go to YouTube and check it out. But anyway, we're gonna finish our coverage of X-Men 97, and then the rest of this show. Like I was like, do we finish the draft? And I was like, if we do the draft as well as our D23 coverage, I'm afraid we would have just made it to Sunday anyway, just recording. It would just been like a 9-hour recording, and nobody wants that. Someday, fellas, if Disney ever does it and same thing with Comic-Con, if there's ever a free live stream of a D23 or a San Diego Comic-Con, I would love for this show to do a live reaction pod while we watched one of those panels, because I've had a chance to watch a lot of that footage today. It'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, we are going to talk about a lot of the entertainment panel, things that were revealed at Destination D23. I divided it up into a couple of different sections. Basically, we're going to talk in depth about Marvel and Star Wars, but I do have a section that is kind of everything else that isn't on there. And even that, I left off some things that might be worth noting as we kind of run through announcements. I have no illusions because D23 is on the West Coast time zone schedule. I stayed up as late as I could to try and catch as much as I could. And you can see my live text if you looked at our text thread of things where they got me, because I was doing it in real time with announcements. And it's like I got a couple of times, but I just couldn't get the rundown out in time. So don't expect these guys to do too much more than maybe respond or react to things I talk about in the first half of the Destination D23 part. I'm positive they followed along and kept up with the bits and bobs from all of our Star Wars and Marvel news. So I think that covers it all as we head into this. Let's wrap up X-Men 97 though, because episodes 8 and 9, good episodes, great episodes. Loved how they finished. I gotta share though, I liked the twist with Gambit. It was not what I was expecting with Gambit. It was a little bit of a change from the comics. It was a pretty big change from the comics in that Gambit is resurrected by Apocalypse with the intent in the comics of him being Apocalypse's horseman of death. In this one, it is a ruse by Apocalypse as he actually puts his consciousness into Gambit, and it is a war of wills between Gambit and Apocalypse, and what turns into a little bit of a familial story between Rogue, Nightcrawler, and and that relationship. We'll get into all of that, but in episode 8, it's really about Gambit going on this rampage and the collective of the X-Men trying to kind of save him while X-Force and X-Factor unite to try and bring down Gambit. If I'm not jumbling the orders up, I might be jumbling this up a little bit because I think the end of episode 8 resolves itself with Gambit being unconscious and Apocalypse contained within his mind by Rogue, but then it's a race to get Apocalypse out while X Factor and X Force then try to confront the X-Men and take Gambit down. Does that sound? Am I off, Dave? I'm a little.
No,
I feel like I'm a little out of order.
No, I think you're right. I mean, the whole thing with Gambit and kind of how you do realize that it's more of Apocalypse's essence or whatever is going on inside of Gambit, and like you're saying at the end, because Rogue's got that big influence, that connection with Gambit. But episode 8 ends with them realizing we're up against it here. We've got a limited amount of time to separate these consciousness, and then we can take care of Apocalypse. And then 9 is all about, I forget which organization it is, but it's Cooper's
X Factor and X Force combined.
Right. X-Pac.
Not X-Pac. X-Pac.
It's Cooper's folks who are trying to, basically they're like, we don't have time for any of this stuff. We've just got to kill Gambit, and that will kill Apocalypse. And we take out 2 deadly threats at the same time. And like you're saying, the X-Men fight back. And I think that's kind of how it went, mostly.
And so within that, the big thing that we see is that in episode 9, Rogue leaves with Beast and Nightcrawler to go back to Apocalypse's ship that is buried under the ocean, where we finally get revealed what is behind the chamber doors that Apocalypse went into all the way back in the first couple episodes of the season. I think episode 3 or 4 when he becomes Apocalypse. And what we find is that Rogue enters this chamber to confront a Celestial. And for those of you who don't remember, Celestials once popped up in the Unfortunate Eternals movie. They've showed up here and there, some other things. I like the Eternals, by the way. I think it is unfairly maligned. It just was a little more ambitious than audiences were probably ready for. But within there, this Celestial is like, you don't belong here. It talks about this philosophy of that it basically gives a very circle of life reason as to why Apocalypse exists. And that Apocalypse's purpose is to bring about the end of humanity, because that is the natural order of things. Rogue challenges that, and the Celestial offers her the power to defeat Apocalypse, but a sacrifice must be made. And you are given the impression that it is that after she defeats Apocalypse, she will die. And so she exits. We have the confrontation in the battle for Gambit's soul. Apocalypse has started to take over. He is running roughshod over everyone. Rogue returns, defeats Apocalypse, and basically resurrects Gambit. They share a moment where they are holding each other, and no power draining is taking place. But Rogue doesn't die, and that's because we learn of a different sacrifice being made by Nightcrawler. And frankly, I'm a little sad that I didn't pick up on it earlier in the series, that this was going to be Nightcrawler's end in the show, because there's been a lot of focus on him about faith and humanity and the best in the world, the best of people and saving the world and making it worth saving. And what we learn is that after Rogue leaves, Nightcrawler goes in and offers himself as the sacrifice instead of Rogue so that she and Gambit can be together because he believes in humanity. And it's a very beautiful, sort of fitting goodbye to Nightcrawler right now in X-Men 97.
Kind of very Soul Stone-ish, isn't it? You know, the whole
Very much, yeah.
You got to
soul for
sacrifice
soul.
yourself. Yeah, soul for soul, and that's kind of the deal. I mean, we assume that Nightcrawler's gone. We really don't know what this, and I forget what the Celestial's name was, whether he accepts this. You assume he does because Rogue doesn't die, but you know, whatever Nightcrawler's fate is remains to be seen. But yeah, it's the last episode 9 was tremendous. I mean, yeah, the 8 and 9 are probably the best episodes of the season, I'd say, or at least the deepest that get into. I mean, there's been a lot of really good episodes, but the last 2 were the most emotionally charged because of the whole issue with Gambit being brought back to life, Rogue sacrifice, Nightcrawler sacrifice, Beast just kind of like trying to be the voice of reason to both Rogue and Nightcrawler. You don't need to do this. Like, yeah, we kind of do. But yeah, I mean, the fight I like in the last episode where who's chasing Jubilee? The 2 planes, isn't that Havoc who's chasing her?
Yeah, Havoc is chasing her.
Well,
respect.
He's so arrogant about everything and just thinks she's just this kid. And Jubilee really evolves in this second season and turns into a force unto herself. So I thought that was really cool. It's a great episode. It brings a lot of the story arcs into a place where, you know, you could see kind of where they're going to go in season 3, especially hopefully people stuck around for the post-credit stuff and got to see the whole issue with Mystique.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But yeah, fantastic episode. Excellent second season. You know, I think a little bit tighter in some places, but honestly, just as good as season 1 at the end of all of it. I yield the floor to the commissioner.
Is that me? Am I the commissioner?
That's what your tag says, so I'm assuming it's you.
Objection. Isan, the searcher of the Celestial Gardeners group. Apparently, I'm reading this, but yes, is the same Celestial that granted in Summoner the powers to become Apocalypse earlier. But yeah, it's just fun. I was thinking watching these 2 back to back, like literally within the last 90 minutes now, since it's been about a half an hour. I finished right before we jumped on. And I was like, oh man, this story arc that they told in episodes 8 and 9 would have been a really good movie as well. Would have been a really good, you know, X-Men movie, or maybe like a double, you know, like a part 1, part 2 kind of thing. It was a really good story with a lot of the main characters and a lot of connection. And yeah, that connection between Rogue and Gambit is really fun. The whole time I was trying to think like what's the cute like couple name? Gambit and Apocalypse? Is it Gambo Lips or is it Apocabit?
Apocabit, yeah.
Lips.
Apocabit, yeah. I don't know what is
Gumbo Lips.
Yeah, I was just wondering what it would have been. You know, it's.
I think that'd be a show title in any other day.
I think I'm gonna write
but
that one
not
down,
today.
Yeah.
No, it's got to be a D23 conversation today.
You're right.
All right, let's talk about that post-credit scene. So yes, we get through the episode. Of course, this, much like season 1, has its like sort of happy ending feeling, or at least this one much happier. You know, season 1 was still a little bleak, right? Like you've got this loss, and then you see that Apocalypse is the next one. This one, we get through the credits. It's always a beautiful thing on a Disney Plus series when you see the option to skip credits pop up, because that means that there is a bonus scene or a post-credit tag. I love that they have that feature. I appreciate it. And so you see that, I click it, and it cuts to Val Cooper, leader of X-Force, going through a file,
Kilmer?
reading Val Cooper.
Yeah. Oh, Cooper. Oh, okay, I get it.
Val Cooper.
Not
reading
Iceman.
files about Mystique, when suddenly walking through the door is Val Cooper, being like, what the heck is going on? To which the Val Cooper reading the files changes and becomes the namesake of the files, Mystique, and we get the returning voice of the OG 90s X-Men 90s cartoon character Randall Carpenter. She was the voice of Mystique in the 90s series. She is back voicing Mystique for X-Men 97, which has been one of my favorite parts about this series is that the number of OG X-Men voice actors that they were able to bring in, but she comes back as Mystique and kills Val Cooper, a la President Kelly or Senator Kelly in the OG X-Men movies. We also, and I think this is important to note, learn that President Kelly is no longer president. He has been removed, and Graydon Creed is taking over. That's right. Sabretooth's father and Mystique's father.
No, kid,
Or
right? He's
kid,
he's
yeah,
he's the
yeah.
son, right?
yeah. Sabretooth, yeah. Sabretooth and Mystique's kid is now president. That's what it is.
Right.
Of the United States because insanity. But this is where we are. Yeah, so Mystique going to have a big role in X-Men 97 season 3. Anyway, we brought back our original voice actor to do that. So Randall Carpenter, welcome back, and just sets things up for 2027 when season 3 is supposed to hit.
Go ahead,
Seems
Tony.
like it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, they've knocked it out of the park. We've been after having to endure a few different series that we've covered, kind of go wayward slightly and some completely. We've really been hitting on a lot of different things here with X-Men 97. I think the next season is going to be just as good. Dave and I are coming off covering one of the greatest seasons we think about in streaming, so go check out Game Gone Wrong. But yeah, I'm so in on it, and it's great to have this background back in your mind again and on the forefront of your mind heading into the new MCU X-Men movie that we're going to get to and talk to about shortly as well. So it's nice to know the history, know the relationships when we get going into that here in 2028, I believe.
So my question is, was Cooper Mystique the whole season? Was she the one pulling the strings to try and eliminate the X-Men? Or did she just come in at the end? Because I think probably the former, but I'm not, am I sure about that? No. Huh?
Secret.
No, please don't.
No, please. Tony, no scrolls. No scrolls.
No, I don't know what the answer to that question is. I think that that's a tough stretch of logic if it was Mystique the whole time. Because then where the hell was Val Cooper while she's very publicly on TV? Like,
Right.
This strikes me very much as Mystique is coming out of hiding and axing Val Cooper, not that she was Val Cooper the whole time. Now
that.
she is going to pose. I think she's clearly going to pose as Val Cooper and
She
start to
kills her.
try it.
Didn't she kill her
Right.
at the end? Yeah.
She did. It's heavily implied that she shot and killed her in the end. Shoots her once, she's down on the ground. They do the whole flash of a gun thing. So it can be assumed, but who knows? And yeah, that closes a book. This will now start the transition out of the Bo DeMaio led series. Now, the framework that Bo had put down before being fired is still part of what they're working from, but these episodes are now being written by a different team without Bo DeMaio at the head. So we'll be interested to see how this series changes moving forward under a different direction than the first two seasons. But on the whole, we are off to a great start. The nostalgia factor was only going to carry it so far. The stories have kept it going through two seasons very strongly, and I'm pleased to see that.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the things, I'll just jump in here because it makes more sense. One of the things in what you watch, and I've resumed watching the X-Men animated series from the 90s, the original one, which is really good. But
Stop at season 4.
Don't watch season 5. I got to get to the end. If I made it through Lock and Key season 3, it can't be worse than that, Pat. Right? I mean, it can't be.
Go back and listen to last week's Bandwagon Nerds to hear all about Lock and Key talk. It came up.
But what I was going to say is that what I like about X-Men 97 is that it is clearly written for the people like you said, the nostalgia factor is good, but they don't dumb it down. They actually bring the intelligence factor a little bit forward in X-Men 97, and it's more adult in the storytelling. And not to say there's anything wrong with the earlier stuff, but it's a kids show. It was targeted for the kids, and this seems
Yes
to be
and
more
no.
targeted. I mean, they evolve. It's like Harry Potter. Like when Harry Potter started, like the first few movies was kid centric, and that evolved with the audience. And I think this is the same way. And I think that's smart that they did it that way. So, yeah, I thought
Did you make it to the Phoenix Saga on the original?
no.
X-Men series?
I'm at Days of Future Past, like the very end of season 1 is where I'm at.
Oh God, yeah, you got a long way to go.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it.
Season 3 for me. Season 2 is my favorite, which is not the Phoenix Saga series. That's the Savage Land and Mr. Sinister. Season 3 is the Phoenix Saga and a Dark Phoenix and the Trial of the Phoenix. So what happened? The reason why a lot of fans will talk about ignoring season 5 is that season 5. So Saban Entertainment and Fox and the people that were working with Marvel got into kind of a pissing match over the rights to the X-Men and the X-Men animated series and Avi Arad. And basically the original animator studio left and was replaced by DIC. Dick is the company, and they are Dick in the quality of their animation. Like it's bad. And that's the thing is like you're gonna see it the second you start watching season 5. You're gonna be like, the credits title is still the same. They didn't get rid of it, but then like they got rid of a bunch of the voice actors from the first 4 seasons, and the quality of the animation is rough. It's rough, and you're just like, I got Temu X-Men, and that's like it's just not good. It's not very good. So I strongly
Temu X-Men. There is an episode title too.
But X-Men 97, it really has made me happy, and the nostalgia feels is still telling good X-Men stories. I look forward to what happens next. That brings us to a close on this season. Oh, Tiny's got a finger. Yes, sir.
So the season's closed, right?
Yep.
What are you doing for the next 8 weeks?
Watching Lanterns.
I mean, I'll do it, but I don't really want to.
Wow. How about this? Guess who's gonna watch it? Greg
Here's the
said
thing.
he's gonna watch it. So how about that?
So here's the thing. I said that just to be the character that I am, because I was going to bring up Lanterns since it debuts tomorrow.
Today? Isn't it
Tomorrow.
today?
I thought it was tomorrow. Sunday.
Sunday.
Bro.
HBO.
Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm going to ignore it and watch the Destination D23 live stream instead.
It's immediately taking the place, the Sunday night prime spot forever that HBO's had, 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
Eastern.
they just that rotation. So yeah, you can.
Well, House of the Dragon just ended, and Lanterns is starting immediately the next week, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah. So yes, I assumed that you two would want to watch Lanterns and cover it. I'm fine with it. I'm also going to share. You can cut there's a couple of work episodes where I might need to be gone. I'm not going to be hurt if you go on without me. It's cool.
Okay.
There will be no pausing.
I'll defer that to the commissioner too.
Dave, Greg said he was going to watch it. Remember, we'll just get him to guest.
Okay. Well,
you know what? Do what you got to do. You guys want him in this chair anyway. That's fine.
I knew that was going to start that up again.
If you all want to drive the plane down into the volcano, that's your choice. I don't stop you.
We need a new underlying show storyline for laughs. So that's a good one. You can use that one. Go ahead.
Literally, this has been a Patrick O'Dowd joke in now 2/3 of the podcast I've been in. Because if you go back and you listen to the OG or the old introductions,
I know. Can I say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the buzzer is for Miranda. It's the old Greg DeMarco show, and she's like, "Why do I have to have a buzzer?" And then you hear the buzzer, and then it's like something Patrick O'Dowd, and he's like, "You're just gonna replace me anyway."
Right. The wrestling realist Patrick O'Dowd.
I know my shows.
There were other guest hosts that were angling for my job. It's a whole thing. So, but anyway, so if you replace with Greg DeMarco, one, kudos to you for getting him for an hour plus on a Sunday at any point. And he's just going to cancel 9 times out of 10 I can't make the show.
We're
not even doing the Greg
know
DeMar.
that.
Or sorry, we're not even doing the Grown Ass Man podcast this week because he's got to, I guess, take his daughter to college or something. Like.
I guess that's okay.
Did you see Tunney die a little inside when I was like, there will be no Grown Ass Man podcast?
I got to figure out what I'm going to do. It's fine.
Like, oh.
It'll be okay.
There's no shortage of content on the chair shot.
Honestly, sure. You know what? Chair shot NFL might come back this week for a special. I don't know. Stay tuned to @PCTunney on X, and you'll hear updates probably tomorrow.
Sounds exciting. I'm looking forward to it. All right. We are going to, though, we're going to take our first break, and the rest of this show is going to be dedicated to Destination D23's entertainment panel that aired last night. Well, it didn't air. It happened last night, and now streamers everywhere are sharing the content. Disney's not taking stuff down, by the way. Disney is leaving things up, so very exciting to hear that. But we will, very briefly, if you're listening live, you're just going to hear a soundbite. If you're not listening live, then probably a couple commercials about something relevant to your region of the country, wherever you may listen. So stick around. Destination D23 talk coming right away here on Bandwagon Nerds, a part of the Chairshot Radio Network here on thechairshot.com.
Why should you visit thechairshot.com? Thechairshot.com is your home for hard-hitting reviews, news, opinion, and analysis with attitude. Why? Because you're smarter than the average fan. Thechairshot.com. Always use your head.
Welcome back, everyone, to Bandwagon Nerds here on the Chairshot Radio Network, a part of the Chairshot.com, where we remind you, God, fucking bust mother.
Thechairshot.com. Always use your head.
That's right.
Let Amber do it.
We're on the Chairshot. We are on the Chairshot Radio Network, part of the Chairshot.com, where we remind you to always use your head. And then we want you to head over to Pro Wrestling Tees. And then we want to remind you to head over to ProWrestlingTees.com/thechairshot for all of your Chairshot swag needs. That's some small print, man. You can't make it bigger. And my eyes are old. It's because I've split it. I'm sorry. I have two things going on my desktop at once, so it's actually shrunk the screen.
That's why.
It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway, bitch. I mean, come on.
Damn, dude. Wow. Rude. Anyway, so Destination D23 currently going on right now. Yesterday was the most relevant panel or showcase for this program, in particular, the entertainment panel. And while after our second break, if necessary, we may not take it, depending on how fast this first conversation goes. Star Wars and Marvel, are the two, those were the two, everybody's wanting to hear from these two studios what's coming. And speculation abound. Dave had his days wrong, thought that, I can't remember what day you said it was. I was like, no, bro.
I thought it was tonight. I thought it was.
But tonight. There were prevailing rumors of what was going to happen with that. So we're going to get to that in a little bit. But it is an overarching entertainment panel, so it is going to cover so much more than just Star Wars and Marvel, and we got that in so many levels, and honestly, in the form of a ton of sequels that got announced. And so the things that I have written down up at the top, these were announcements that stood out to me because it's new original content and features coming from Disney Entertainment. And the two biggest things is we now know that there will be a new original film coming from Disney Animation. We got no details about it other than that Kieran Culkin is attached to it as one of the voice actors to perform in it. And I love that for him as an award-winning actor and somebody who so often has been in Macaulay Culkin's shadow because of how huge he was as a child, even though Kieran's had the steadier acting career as kind of Macaulay just stepped away from the spotlight, lives his best life with, God, I can't remember who he's married to, but she, Anyways, it doesn't matter. I'll look it up later. But Macaulay Culkin and Kieran Culkin, both great family men now, and have really have very stable lives. But interesting, we got one picture of a tile of somebody chasing a sort of fantastical looking creature, and this is the next Disney original animated feature. I hope they market it better than the last Disney original animated feature, and I hope it's better than Wish, because Wish, I have never been mad at Disney the way I was when Wish came out, because that was a 100-minute animated movie of Disney patting itself on the back with one banger of a song. Because this Wish is a good song. That movie is not a good movie. And I feel bad for Chris Pine. He deserved better. But this looks fun. Kira Copeland. We also got an announcement of a new original Pixar film called Ghost Market, and a little bit of an image of what appears to be it's like there's two steaming cups of coffee or something that get picked up and sort of clink or whatever, and those are ghosts. From what I heard out of the reports out of the panel, it looks like it's going to have a very like Miyazaki anime feel, and it seems like a lot of the animators and minds behind it are from that studio. So this is going to be a very interesting sort of groundbreaking. I expect something groundbreaking because it's Pixar and because of the creative team behind it. And then the third original thing that I saw that I thought was really interesting, Jon Favreau came out as part of this presentation, and he did showed brief footage of a 3-part miniseries titled Oswald, which follows the OG Walt Disney animated icon Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, and it's an interesting mix. Yep, that's her.
Brenda Song.
Brenda
Talk about
Song.
out kicking your coverage, man. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Brenda Song is a big, like, she was a big Disney Channel actress. She was a big Disney movie actress, like Disney Channel like person. Like, she was a DCOM person. So, but their story is great. Like how those two came together and met, got married. They're an awesome story. Macaulay Culkin and Brenda Song. But Oswald, this looks really cute. It's classic 2D animation, and it's running around interacting with. It's very Who Framed Roger Rabbit, interacting with the real world. And the scene that they show you is Oswald, I think in like the 30s or 40s, running around through Walt Disney's office. So it looks incredibly cute. And those were my sort of initial thoughts of things I saw before we get into sequels, video games, and other stuff. Oh my. I know I didn't even share a link. I don't even know if you guys saw any reports.
Yeah.
But what before I go too far in this, just thoughts on what you hope for or see, or what do you even caught glimpses of out of this panel today that didn't have to do with Star Wars?
The Oswald stuff is really cool because if you ever do make it out here to the West Coast, Pat, he's a big fixture over at Disney California Adventure. There's lots of Oswald.
It's his park, right?
It is pretty much his park.
Kind of like how Figment. It's how Epcot is Figment's park.
Yes, very much so. Like you across the walkway, because the two parks are right next to each other. That's all Mickey, but DCA is very much Oswald's sort of domain, and lots of memorabilia and souvenirs and things like that at DCA. One of the things, as anti-live action adaptation as I am, one of the things I saw that surprised me a little bit was the really massive reaction to the live action Tangled reveal. And that got a really good pop from the people who were there watching it. I mean, and I think they just kind of showed the long, all that hair, from the main character, and I forget her name, but I think that's going to do really well as far as like the live action.
Catherine Hahn is going to be amazing in that movie.
Yeah, and I mean that's
without a doubt.
That is
Agatha
one,
herself.
And that is one where I don't mind the live action because the animated one is it's good, no doubt. Is it iconic as some of the other ones that have been remade?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take.
No. This is a generational thing. Like when I think about waves of Disney animation and kind of Disney princesses, like there's the original wave, which is, most people would, have like Snow White, Cinderella,
Pinocchio.
Sleeping Beauty, like those. then you kind of have this quiet period, like right up until like, and I'm just talking in terms of princesses, like pretty quiet until you get to the Disney Renaissance in the late 80s. And that was Ariel and Belle and Jasmine and Mulan is a Disney princess. And there was that, that huge burst. Then it kind of got quiet again. And then you had another sort of round with Princess Tiana and Rapunzel are the two big ones. And I don't understand it, but I have the number of people that go to Disney World, go to Magic Kingdom, and get a fucking picture taken in front of a bathroom because it is themed after Rapunzel. And it's an amazing looking restroom. Like the Imagineers went crazy. They do a special photo shot every night outside that area because it's made to look like Rapunzel's tower is in the distance, but they do the lantern scene from Rapunzel. They do what's called a magic shot, where you get the tower in the background and it's everybody holding not green lanterns, jackass, yellow lantern.
No, I was going to say
Sinestro.
when I get to Disney, that's number 2 on my list of things to do.
Ah,
Yeah,
I
Tony,
see what you did
when are
there.
you coming out to visit me in California, buddy? So we can go and hang out, man.
Maybe this winter. I don't know.
Let's go. You got a
But,
place to stay, man. So
So
and
I
it's
will.
chauffeur.
I have a lot of miles left on my lease, so I can drive too.
So I will circle this back and just be like, yes, I 100% think that this will do pretty good gangbusters. And there's enough distance between when Tangle came out and now that I think that it hits a little differently.
Well, I think, like, and you said, she's a major.
She's a millennial.
player.
She's very like the millennials.
Yeah,
Love
and
her
that's
and
going
Tiana.
to resonate huge with the little girls right now who
And they have kids. Millennials
Disney
are having kids.
Yeah, and Disney princesses are still big money and a big attraction. So I expect that to do very, very well. And I don't begrudge that one going to live action at all.
Yeah.
2 things for me: Incredibles 3. We're going to get an Incredibles 3, so I love that. And then we should get the first glimpse at the Simpsons movie on September 3rd, I believe they said. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, and that's kind of a nice little segue here in the land of sequels and new movies. So apparently, the next Simpsons movie is just called The New Simpsons Movie. They did show a little bit of footage of like Homer catching a home run or something. Like I didn't read the details on it, but that was shown. But we're getting a Romy and Michelle's high school reunion part 2. I don't know why we need it, but we're getting it. Princess Diaries 3 is coming.
Do we have the same? Is it still who was in the first one?
Lisa Kudrow,
Lisa Kudrow and Mira Sorvino are both in it. Yes, they're both reprising their role. This is years later, and it's about them trying to find romance.
Trivia
So it's not us.
Still,
What did they lie and say they invented?
Post-its.
yeah, Post-its.
Oh, the adhesive that goes on the back of
the
Post-it.
adhesive that's and that somebody happens. Janine Garofalo knows the actual inventor of it and calls him out because, of course,
Underrated.
It is. It's funny. It's good.
It is.
But then the animated sequel Cavalcade comes out. So we got our first look at Frozen 3, Idina Menzel and Kristen Bell, and the guy who's the voice of Olaf, that's Josh Gad, all came out as part of this panel. They showed some footage. Apparently,
found Josh Gad. They found Josh Gad.
They did find Josh Gad. He's been recovered.
Once they canceled season 2 of Wonder Man, they got him back.
We were able to bring him back.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay. So,
we gated him back. We learned.
Trade Josh Gad back in for season 2 of Wonder Man, though. No offense.
Right.
Can we?
But apparently Olaf Olaf is getting married. He will have a lady friend snowman because that was what we needed for Frozen 3. Good for them. Ke Huy Quan and Jennifer Goodwin actually were the host of the Disney animation panel, and they were able to announce Zootopia 3, which does not surprise me after Zootopia 2 made $1 bajillion, like $1 bajillion. Officially announced Coco 2, and wrapped into that announcement was a video game tie-in that Dave got a little excited about, as the Kingdom Hearts franchise, which is an action RPG series. Kingdom Hearts 4 is coming, as is a Kingdom Hearts series. And so the way that this got a Kingdom Hearts animated series, so the way this got announced, they're talking about Coco 2, and you get to see that Miguel's grown up, but then they were showing footage of Coco, and all of a sudden the shadow creatures that are big in Kingdom Hearts start appearing in Coco's world, and then I don't even know the characters. I've never played the games. Dude with a Keyblade, Sora shows up with a Keyblade, fights him off, and then he's adventuring through the world of Coco. That was very excited. Tony also mentioned the best Fantastic Four movies ever made. The Incredibles are getting its third sequel, The Incredibles 3, which is apparently going to focus a little bit more on Dash and Violet, as they are trying to prove themselves to their parents that they can be worthy superheroes to go out into the streets and fight crime. We also learned that they're not aging those characters up, that it's going to be like The Simpsons. They're not getting older. So Jack is of course around as well, and that's also part of it is Jack hijinks.
Smart.
So these are all money makers. Like all of these animated sequels will make $1 million. I'll be interested though. What's that?
Zootopia Incredibles will absolutely continue to crush, right? Like
so Frozen and Coco.
Frozen 3, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Frozen has the music to go with it. You know, Zootopia has the animal connection, which, you know, that age group is always going to love going to see that movie. And then I think, like you said, Incredibles, best Fantastic Four movies, you know, it's just a great storyline. And Dave said it's really smart to Simpsonize them and not have them grow up. You can continue to tell different stories.
Whoa. Dave didn't say that. Patrick said that.
I said it was smart. You said they weren't, and I said it was smart. So
did you though?
I did. Tony heard it.
Well, you said it, he agreed with it, and I was thinking it.
So
objection.
I said it first. There we go. Overruled by Doom and Mystique's love child.
By the villain, yeah.
So anyway, Coco, dude, Coco was massive when it came out, and I didn't realize it. Coco's 10 years old. It's been 10 years ish since that movie came out.
And I know, like, the Parks panel is tonight, which
yes.
I know we'll probably
there's a Coco ride.
Yeah.
Where I'm only gonna talk about one thing and what you're watching, but I am gonna talk about things I've seen on the internet with regards to Disney parks.
I can show you how to live stream the parks thing tonight if you want.
No, I don't want to. If for no other reason, honestly, if it's because it's on Pacific time too, so that's like 10 p.m. Like Patrick tired posting or
that's
tired
like
streaming.
Trying to do a post WrestleMania show.
Right? Like no, I don't want to do it. I want to watch it. I want to take it all in. I want to see what they're actually going to announce. We'll get to that in a little bit.
I was just giving you shit.
No, I hear you. But I haven't dug deep into if it's the same team that brought us Coco. But I think of the four that they announced, Coco 2 is probably the one I'm the most interested and the most excited about. Miguel's older. The story allegedly is the revenge of Ernesto de la Cruz, who is the villain in the first one, and one of the most popular trick-or-treat trail characters you can run into at Oogie Boogie's Bash during Disney Halloween time. By the way, Dave, I need you to go to the Oogie Boogie Bash this year, or send your wife.
Because she's going somewhere around there, but I don't know.
I don't care how I get I need a digital picture. I need a picture of Yzma, because Yzma is a character that they're introducing for the first time as part of the Oogie Boogie Bash, like, you know, the villain stuff that you can walk by.
Well, Mrs. Attitude, if you're watching right now, that sounds like an official request for you.
I'm just saying it's a mandate. I've already gotten I got in trouble. I'm not allowed to ask for more popcorn buckets. Did I tell you this? Because that Hatbox Ghost popcorn bucket.
Oh yeah,
it looks fucking. Both of the new ones that they did. There's a Hatbox Ghost popcorn bucket and a Headless Horseman popcorn bucket. Both of them look awesome, just awesome. And my wife was like, "We cannot have more plastic trash in the house." And I'm like, "It's not trash; it's a treasure."
It's right.
But-
It's going to be in
Right?
1,000 years. Think how priceless that will
My
be.
son stole my constant Hatchaway or Bride sipper that you
that we
you
got you?
acquired for me.
Yeah.
It's in his room on his desk. Asshole. Go
I
ahead.
think no, I was going to say for me, Incredibles 3 is the one out of the four that you named that I'm probably looking forward to the most because it is the greatest Fantastic Four movie of all time, and it is one of my favorite Disney franchises that come out. And the Incredibles are entertaining and they're fun, and there's such a great cast of characters that, I definitely that's the one that stands out to me. Frozen 3 is probably the one I'm least interested in, just because oversaturation of that, But I get it; it's going to make gajillions of dollars, but. Yeah, I mean, I'm not it is not marketed to me, that's for sure. But
no,
like
not
you're
at all.
saying, Coco 2 is going to be really good, and it is surprising that we're 10 years.
What's
removed.
interesting? You care to guess how long it's been since Frozen 2 came out without cheating?
5 years? Higher, 7 years.
2017.
Almost a decade. Wow, that's
Almost a
crazy.
decade since Frozen 2.
Man.
I will say this, much like Stitch, and we didn't talk, there is a live action Lilo and Stitch sequel coming as well, because that movie also made $1 bajillion. But
The off-world order.
that's the other we were talking about the second round, the millennial princesses is kind of the way to describe. Frozen is another one of those, like, both Anna and Elsa, along with Tiana and Rapunzel, like all of them fit in there. So great stuff. Raya, I think, is a princess too, if I remember, in there somewhere. So there's Moana. Moana is a Disney princess. So there's so many, like, those eras and waves and how big they are and how popular they get. So Disney really leaned into the familiar with a lot of their stuff, with only a couple of sort of truly new projects, because that is what's working right now. Now, I do think that's partially a failure on the part of their animation team. Like, I want Clay to work. I want to know more about it, and I want it to work, and I want them to get behind it. I don't want them to treat it like Elio. I don't want them to treat it like Raya and the Last Dragon, which is an underrated movie that nobody knows about because they released it on streaming during the pandemic. If you haven't watched it, check it out. It's a good movie.
What's the one that did amazing during the pandemic? Soul? Elemental, I think.
Elemental did well. Elemental is Pixar, I do believe.
Yeah, Elemental is one of those ones that once it hit streaming, it took off.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna push back on that. Their box office longevity, that was one of the examples where they started off and it was kind of a slow start, but as it just stayed in theaters longer than anybody expected, because people kept going back to it because they went and saw it and recognized that it was pretty darn good. So I just don't want them to. What's the other? There's Strange Worlds, like nobody watched and they never even tried. You took you a minute to think about it. You're like, what? Yeah.
I'm like
this movie. It's a movie that exists, an animated movie that exists from Disney Animation, and it failed. It failed miserably because it just wasn't marketed. It didn't have a chance to succeed. So this is a very safe panel, and I'm looking forward to some stuff on this, but I really want Ghost Market and Clay to be hits. I want them to be hits. So hopefully we can get something that works and keeps moving. All right. We are going to take that second break real quick, just kind of cleanse our palates a little bit, and then we're going to head and start talking everything Destination D23, Star Wars, and Marvel, because really that's what y'all come to listen for, is us talk about Star Wars and to Marvel watch shit. And to watch. We're going to watch a couple of things. That'll be exciting too. So stick around for that. We will be right back. You are listening to Bandwagon Nerds here on the Chairshot Radio Network, part of the Chairshot.com.
This is your boy Kenny Killer telling you to make sure you check out thechairshot.com, bringing you breaking news, interviews, podcasts galore, everything pro wrestling. Make sure you check it out, thechairshot.com.
Thechairshot.com. Always use your head.
And just like that, we are back. Welcome back, everyone, to Bandwagon Nerds, here as a part of the Chairshot Radio Network on thechairshot.com, where we remind you to always use your head. Make sure you're heading over to prowrestlingtees.com/thechairshot for all of your Chairshot swag needs. Patrick O'Dowd, PC Tunney, David Ungar here, talking D23, specifically the entertainment panel that happened last night while most of us on the East Coast were sleeping because we're old people. Like, I'm old, guys. I'm old. I can't keep up with it anymore.
Huh?
Can't do it.
Huh?
What?
David DJ made sure I stayed up till
Actually, I'm saying that not even fucking close to true, because I was texting you guys the results of the panel as they were happening live.
That's true.
I was sleeping.
You might have been sleeping, but I was texting you and you saw them this morning. So I am going to do this in reverse order. Marvel actually came out first and they wrapped up with Lucasfilm and Star Wars. I don't want to do that. I'm going to do it the other way around. I mentioned this before. Disney is not taking down or copywriting anything that people are posting right now. You can jump on YouTube right now and watch the entire entertainment panel, all 2 hours of it, right now on YouTube. No issue, no problem. It doesn't seem like Disney cares the way they have in the past. So if that is something that floats your boat and what you want to do, go ahead and go nuts. I rewatched.
This live stream is over. You can go do that.
Yeah, don't do it now.
Don't leave now.
But even before the show, because I wanted to make sure that I knew what I wanted to talk about when it came to Marvel. I watched all 15 minutes of the Marvel panel, and that's all the Marvel. Here's the thing: is for both of these, for both Star Wars and for Marvel, 15 minutes of stage time. That's really about it, and they did so much. And I'm going to start with the least informative nugget we got of anything first, and that was we did get a visit from Sean Levy, and we did get a visit from Ryan Gosling, and we got a little bit more information about Star Wars Starfighter. This is the one where I didn't find any footage. I've tried to find footage of this little sizzle reel that they put out, and I didn't have time to sit through all 2 hours of a panel to try and see if that content creator kept the trailers up, because sometimes you got to be careful with that. You might see the panels, but they might take the trailers down so that doesn't get them copyrighted. Everything I've seen with regards to Star Wars and Starfighter cuts off the sizzle reel stuff. So either people were told not to, or people are doing it just to be safe. Either way, have not seen this. There is a description. I shared it with Tunney and Dave on my favorite nerd website, IO9, because they talked about the footage, gave us some inspiration. What they did show was Ryan Gosling being introduced onto the stage in a Mickey Mouse Club jacket. Because for those of you who don't remember, Ryan Gosling was on the Mickey Mouse Club revival show. That was one of his earliest acting gigs, and they traded him for a new jacket that is going to be the call sign of his character, who I've already forgotten his name. It's Cade something, but I can't remember the last name.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, Dave will look it up, and I'll just pretend to know. But the jacket that they give him, it's a bomber jacket. Looks like a skull and crossbones on the bottom, but it's an upside down Rebel Alliance logo with like ships underneath it to make it look like a skull and crossbones. It was really sweet. And that was the first little bit of interview that they had. And it's going to be him traveling with a youngling on the fastest starfighter ever made, is the way that it's described. So faster than the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy. Oh, Dave's bring scroll up. Cade Oberon in Star Wars Starfighter. And so and the footage that was shared on there was, again, it was like a sizzle reel. Like there's a brief bit of footage of him like sort of walking along the ship and somebody being like, well, I've never heard of this ship. And he's like, well, you wouldn't. And then it cuts away to him and this kid gallivanting around the universe and the galaxy. So really cool stuff.
It should be showing on here a little bit of that.
It's showing the panel.
Okay,
It's on. There's the Mickey Mouse Club jacket that he's wearing there. He comes out. They actually give him a new jacket after a while talking to that. It's a little Mickey Mouse. Here's the trade. He's going to flip this bad boy on. This is, it's like
Let's be
guns or...
let's be honest with ourselves for a second and ask the question that needs to be asked, and where our opinions exactly lie. Is this going to do anything for Star Wars? Do you have confidence that this does anything for Star Wars? They need something. Like Mandalorian and Grogu, as much as I enjoyed it, it wasn't what they wanted it to be.
And did so poorly it's streaming on September 2nd for all to see on Disney Plus.
They're so stuck right now. I think this is going to be just as forgettable as what Jude Law did.
Well, I mean, this is Ryan Gosling's description of Cade Oberon. Cade is a guy from the wrong side of the galaxy whose fate is intertwined with the fastest starfighter ever built. I mean, and I hear that, and I immediately flash back to the Phantom Menace. It's the fastest one ever built, and it's like, okay, we're not really going down this path again, are we? Please tell me no. I mean, yeah, Star Wars needs something. Is this the answer? I don't know. I think we're going to watch something that I'm much more excited about, that I think is more of the answer we're looking for. But
I want it to be good. I really do. I want them to find something that they can catch on and use to move forward with the main, whatever kind of cinematic storyline they want to follow along. But they haven't done anything to convince us at all in nearly a decade.
Man,
it's been a while since Patrick's favorite Star Wars movie dropped.
Yeah, The Last Jedi was quite a while. You're right.
2019, the end of 2019. Yeah.
So I guess I'm going into it with a little bit more of an open mind. I'm not saying you guys are being closed-minded. I'm trying to be optimistic about this because there's so many things that Star Wars canon burdens people with, and that fans struggle to accept. And it's just interesting to me what does hit and what doesn't hit. Because we talked about the Acolyte last week and just how I felt that was such a disaster. Even though the idea of Darth Plagueis was introduced in the prequel trilogy and folks got really excited about it. There have been these sweet spots where it's worked, but it's always focused on this original sort of George Lucas timeline. And that's like, I argue that the Clone Wars and Rebels and those shows work because they fit within the George Lucas timeline and what we all know and are familiar with. The ones that have not worked, in my opinion, have been the ones that try to stretch the lore in a way that makes no goddamn sense, or fail, or kind of lose themselves. Like, I think The Mandalorian and Grogu lost itself when it stopped being about the Mandalorian. Like when it really became about when it became the Mandalorian in little words and Grogu in big words. Like, marketing the cute little puppet suddenly became more important. And then we made the Book of Boba Fett, which was just shit. Oh my gosh, you guys, he's on a beta.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
It's a Rancor. He's riding a Rancor. So great. And I trust Sean Levy as a filmmaker. I've really come around on Ryan Gosling as an actor. Project Hail Mary did so much for me as a fan for Ryan Gosling. So I want to see more before I go no.
Yeah,
like
I'm with you. I'm with you because I think Ryan Gosling can do it all right now, and I think he in this role
he brought a rock back to life, man.
Yeah, like, he's going to be Ghost Rider as well, right? I mean, so the guy's just everywhere, and he's one of the most talented actors that is out in Hollywood right now. So I do have faith in that. They are talking about the plot of this is covering a period of time that hasn't been explored before. So that lends itself to some storytelling that we haven't seen yet. I mean, for all of us who are hoping that the Old Republic will one day get something, I don't think this will be it. But
I don't even think we need the Old Republic, though. I don't think we need that. I just don't know where that works. I don't know.
Last week, the people we were with last week, our friends, they named their child Revan, which I think is the coolest name ever for a kid.
Seven?
Not Seven, Revan.
George Costanza, Patrick's favorite. Patrick's
the main character from Knights of the Old Republic, who is
I know
Seven. Yeah, not Soda.
I think there's stories to be told with that character, but I don't know why they're reluctant to go down that path. I mean, if you want to tell a story about Jedi and Sith that has nothing to do with Skywalkers, table is set for you guys right there. But that notwithstanding, I'm certainly going to give this a shot. I want to see what they do with it. But yeah, I'm open minded. I don't know if this is the answer, but it is Star Wars. It's all Star Wars, or at least it used to be all Star Wars, and we'll see what happens.
The only other Star Wars thing, I'm sure you're going to transition into the other Star Wars stuff, and it kind of works in between these two, is Ewan McGregor was interviewed saying, I'm ready and willing and ready to go to tell any Obi-Wan Kenobi stories that haven't been told in between what he did last and, the original Star Wars series. So I don't understand why you wouldn't capitalize on that, at the very least having him be in an episode or two of any kind of thing that would be relatively close to his timeline.
There's a lot of rumors that they want to bring Obi-Wan back for season 2. And I personally loved Obi-Wan season 1. I thought it was tremendous. The stuff with him and Vader. I mean, Vader delivering one of the most iconic lines in Star Wars lore of the last decade. I am not your failure, Obi-Wan.
Oh,
It's
badass.
No, and it wasn't that. But it's like, you didn't kill Anakin. I did, and I mean, that scene was so powerful for those of us who grew up with these characters. I struggle to find, why wasn't Obi-Wan better received? Is it because of the whole race issue, which of course that has a lot of stuff, people got all pissy about that sort of thing.
What race issue?
Didn't they cast somebody in the role, and it was a black actress got cast, and people were all butthurt about that because
as one of the like acolytes, not the acolytes, but one of the
executioners or something, or affiliated with that,
people
and
that
people,
hunt the Jedi.
yeah, people got all, because that's the world we live in right now, and I think that created some backlash. The whole that's so woke. What the fuck are you talking about? But I'd like to see a season 2 for that show, because I agree with you, Tony. There are lots of Obi-Wan stories that can still be told. Let's tell them.
Well, you're right. I do think Ewan McGregor keeps begging. I wonder if it's coming. So we'll have to wait and see. Let's get to the other trailer though. Let's move on. Tony already hinted at it. We did get our first look at season 2 of Ahsoka. It was a teaser trailer. It was finally put out on YouTube a little bit later than some of the other trailers that we got to. But Dave is queuing it up, and we're gonna check it out right now, and then we will react.
Tell me, Ahsoka. What troubles you? I'm always walking by your side.
Citizens of the glorious Empire, I have returned. I took an oath to protect the Empire. I therefore declare war on the Rebel Alliance.
Out of vision.
What did you see? More.
More and more danger than I thought.
Baylan claimed to have knowledge of a power.
Master!
One that could end wars.
A long time ago, I walked away from the Jedi.
This is your trial, Ahsoka. Maybe time to decide. Are you a Jedi? Or not?
All right, so there you go. Our first look at season 2 of Ahsoka. Lot of lightsaber work. Real quick, let me get this out of myself. Oh my god, there's a laser bow. He's got a laser bow, you guys. Also, dumbest, most impractical weapon in a land of laser guns I've ever seen in my life. But whatever, it looks cool. And that's, let's be real, that's what we're looking for, right? Is does it look cool? Um, but this is very, I like the description of, it's like Ahsoka's Jedi trials is what we're looking at. Like, she is being uh, communed with Force Ghost Anakin Skywalker. Uh, Again, just so happy for Hayden Christensen that he got his Star Wars redemption arc, if that makes sense. Like, to be somebody who was so heavily criticized when he was just a kid, to now being able to return to that character and be revered, by a lot of the fandom has been great. And again, Grand Admiral Thrawn, I love the dude that plays him. He's just that soft voice is so great. Just that soft, like I'm a murder bot. You, long live the Empire. Like, you know what I mean? It's amazing.
Go ahead, Tony.
We get to see our first quick look there at Rory McCann, also infamous for his role as the Hound of Sandor Clegane in Game of Thrones. Make sure you check out Game Gone Wrong on Attitude of Aggression YouTube channel. We just finished up House of the Dragon season 3. But yeah, that's an important role takeover from the passing of Ray Stevenson. So to me, Ahsoka is like the strongest thing that the Star Wars universe has right now, without question. Not only the actress that plays the character, but the way she plays the character and just demands your attention. We all wish, even Rory McCann, wish Ray Stevenson was around to continue to finish what he started. But I'm looking forward to how Rory can fulfill the rest of that story, and this is one of the things I'm really looking forward to as far as Star Wars goes, even more than I was looking forward to The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah, I'm with you completely, Tony. This is what I've been looking forward to. Ahsoka season 1 was really, really, really good. And in this trailer, like you're saying, you get to see Ray Stevenson's replacement as Baylan, and obviously Anakin believes that Baylan holds some knowledge that is critical to whatever's going on in this whole thing. But yeah, I mean, Thrawn's there, Ahsoka's there. You get to see like the Baylan's acolyte or her apprentice. She's still in this thing. You get to see that appearance. It makes you wonder. I get the distinct impression they are no longer isolated on this far-flung planet where the Purrgil and all that stuff took them. They're back. So it looks like they resolved that whole situation pretty early on. I think the big thing coming out of this is, do we get answers as to what happened to the Mandalorians, and how does this fit into the bigger picture of where we are going with Star Wars, even if Star Wars themselves may not know where they're going. But this has some sort of it's a compelling story arc. It's characters that we know and love. Ahsoka and Anakin's relationship continues to evolve, even though he's a Force ghost, but he does execute some physical abilities as he blocks a lightsaber, we think, somewhere along the way. So
I thought that was a memory. I thought that
it could be.
Remember, I think a good portion of this is also flashback. We did see child Ahsoka too.
Yeah.
But I think Ahsoka's journey and how she ends up wherever she's going to end up is one of the most beloved characters. Huh?
She's gonna end up at Taco Bell.
I don't know.
Just have to take the Dylan Napoleon.
But no, I think it's going to be great. That's going to be a really something awesome to watch right at the beginning of 2027. So we're not that terribly far from Ahsoka season 2, and Star Wars needs some sort of forward momentum, and I think this could be something they can lean on a little bit.
Maybe I just don't. I think that it's going away from the Skywalkers and trying to treat this as its own individual universe, a la Marvel, just hasn't worked because of the way that the original story was told.
Right.
Like, the original story was told as an adventure that these 3 people get caught up in and are part of. In the rest of the greater world doesn't necessarily matter. Marvel, all these people came from other parts of the greater world and had their own things that happened that then eventually bring them together to a different resolution. I think that's been the big difference between the two. I think it's why other groups that have tried to do a united universe have failed, and we'll see what happens with James Gunn and if he can make something work, because it's just kind of where it is. And I think this is a good story. I think it's a familiar story. I mean, we get Sabine Wren, we got Hera, we got Jaden, or
Ezra.
Jaden. No, not Ezra.
Isn't he in
I'm
this?
talking about Hera's kid was the one I was talking about.
Oh, got you.
But yes, Ezra Bridger is also in it too, 100%. So it's a Star Wars Rebels continuation as much as anything, as well, and that also connects with the cast. It's interesting how it's both a Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels sort of mashup move into the future. So, all right, let's take a break from the Star Wars universe and let's head over into the MCU. Kevin Feige, the overlord of the MCU himself, did appear on stage, and he kicked off this presentation with our first look and trailer for Vision Quest, starring Paul Bettany and a returning James Spader as Ultron. And I think Dave's got that trailer for us all here to talk about as well. So I'm going to turn it over to you to fire that bad boy up.
Before you started working here, I remember when you'd come in all the time with that redhead.
I was a different person back then.
How about now? Anyone waiting for you tonight?
No. Home is just me.
It's like I'm losing my
Who am I? I was an Avenger, but I'm not a hero anymore. I have his face, but not his virtue. All I have is his name.
Welcome home, Vision. This house is getting crowded, Vision.
Ultron! Human avatars only.
Sir, I cannot overstate the dangers of keeping him around.
Yes, but he is a...
Dad? Papa? Peepaw?
I'm a stranger to myself. That family wasn't real.
You sure about that?
I had a father, a machine called Vision.
Muzzle tough. It's a boy.
How is this possible?
Free us all and save your son.
I wish to understand my purpose.
With a genocidal maniac inside your head.
Nothing bonds a family together quite like mortal jeopardy.
Well, there you have it. Our first look at Vision Quest. James Spader looks hilarious in his sort of taunting villain role. That shows that a large portion of this show is going to be right inside of old White Vision's brain as he is trying to figure himself out, while at the same time his son Tommy is seeking him out as well. The first thing that struck me as I was watching this was a callback to Avengers Infinity War, when Banner is talking about how to save Vision, and he talks about how Vision is a complex construct of all these different neural networks. And he says, me, Tony, Ultron, and he goes on. And you see this moment where he talks to a group of these entities within his brain and in his circuitry. And you have Ultron, you have Jarvis, what appears to be Friday. And so I opened up the cast and I opened up again just to show you some of the other intelligences that may or may not be in there. So Edith, which was another artificial intelligence that was out there. And that's an acronym. I can't remember what she stood for. But the other one that struck me as really, really interesting, Dave, and we'll see if you know who this is. Jocasta. Do you remember who Jocasta is?
And it's another it's another program, but I don't remember from where.
She was created by Ultron to be a bride for him.
Right.
And so I don't know if that means Jocasta is existing outside or inside or where she fits, but I find that very, very interesting as I was reading through the cast list and some of the other AIs that are in there. There's a couple other folks that don't have roles listed next to their names that I speculate are either inside Vision, circuit brain, or are connected in some way. Like I can't remember what Peter Parker's Jennifer Connelly was the voice of his AI, but I don't think she existed pre-Ultron.
So you said Ultron, Jarvis. You said Friday, right?
Jocasta.
Yep, Edith.
You said Edith. Did you say Dummy?
Who's Dummy?
Henry Lewis. UME.
Isn't that the name of like Tony had the
or you
robots that were helping him that kept fucking things up? And
no, I did.
You, Jonathan Sayer. These are like Grok suggestions.
Oh no! See, I was actually reading the actual cast list with names next to them. Not possibilities.
But there are other ones that are going to be there.
That are possible to be there. I don't trust Grok. I don't trust Grok. I'll trust Grok till I hear someone say it. Grok likes to speculate. That's all I'm saying.
One of the interesting things about the trailer that I didn't really realize until it got mentioned was the concept that this is the last part of a trilogy. I mean, when you think about it, it's like, okay, WandaVision, Agatha all along, and now Vision Quest. Okay, I don't know if they planned it that way all along, but that's certainly the way that it has evolved. And of course, go
ahead.
Now, the big question is, does this in some way lead to Wanda's return heading into Doomsday?
Well, and that's the thing. If you watch the panel, they mention Wanda, and Paul Bettany says nobody stays dead in the Marvel universe, mostly.
Yeah.
So I would, if Wanda Maximoff isn't in this in some way, shape, or form, I'll eat a bug. The other interesting listed cast that I see here on IMDb, at the very bottom, when I scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a name with no number of episodes, but it's there. It's Mr. Tom Hiddleston.
The ones I talked about are confirmed, by the way.
Oh, they are confirmed?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks really good. I mean, it looks like it's going to be, it does have a high bar to meet with what WandaVision and Agatha all along were all about. But I think Vision's story, especially when you look at where we're going and 2 months after, I mean, this will come out after what Endgame is re-released. So
that's Saturday. Yeah. In September.
Yeah. I mean, but you consider where we're going leading into Doomsday and then Secret Wars, after that, Vision's story is critically important. And I think Wanda's story, especially when, as we're going to see with the look at Doctor Doom that we're about to get to, he's wielding a whole lot of power, and there aren't, too many Omega level. The Omega level mutants are one place, but Wanda is more powerful than arguably all of them combined. So got to kind of get her back in the mix, you would think.
This looks great.
Well, and especially, I think it looks pretty amazing. It's going to be mind-bending. The rumor is that Wanda is going to be one of Doom's witches. So,
that's a scary thought.
That is one of the rumors. And it is definitely a rumor. That is a salt shaker handy rumor.
Yeah.
So just be careful with that.
Did either of you just get really, like, I didn't know James Spader was going to be in this. I didn't know they were going to do this the way they did it. So like when I watched the trailer, I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. I love James Spader. So the Paul Bettany and James Spader interactions tell me like this is going to be a top tier Marvel series, by the way. I love it. And like the trilogy to which this belongs to, I think it's going to do it justice. I think we're going to always revere this as one of the best streaming things that Marvel did, is this trilogy of, WandaVision, Agatha all along, and Vision Quest.
Side note, Just another example of Marvel using a father-son dynamic as a storytelling device.
Peepaw?
But it's what Marvel does this all the time and has done this a ton, as we've seen, and even as we head into Doomsday, it's about parentage. It's about fathers losing families.
Well, and
Yeah,
they set that up at the end of the Fantastic Four.
Right.
Right.
And I mean, just the relationship between Ultron and Vision is so layered and nuanced, and you get to see this human avatars only. And seeing James Spader as Ultron in human form is really awesome. And
with that crazy beard.
Yeah.
Kind
of looks like DJ, right, Tony? I see a little DJ there.
Shout out to DJ and his beard and Game Gone Wrong over at Attitude of Aggression YouTube channel.
Some guy whose podcast you're going to be on is what I hear.
At the end of the day,
that is the rumor.
You're going to look back and go, man, Vision Quest was so perfect to set us up for Doomsday. Like, so underratedly beautiful. Like, I think something's got to move us in a slight angle. It's got to set up another little angle that's missing. Not that anything's really missing, but it's going to add another dimension, I think. Because if you talk about Wanda being part of Doom's, clergy, for a lack of a better term.
Coven. It's Coven.
There you go. Pat.
Coven of Witches. We'll find out. I think let's speaking of Doomsday, we got another look at Doomsday. Here are the things that I meet before we go to the trailer. Just the panel piece itself. We get a confirmation that Haley Atwell is going to be in that movie because Haley Atwell, Chris Evans, and Robert Downey Jr. were the three actors from Doomsday that appeared on the panel next to Kevin Feige. We got. I am on board now that Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds are in this fucking movie.
Yep.
Because why are you doing this? Like maybe it is for a laugh and it's a good laugh, but you have Ryan Reynolds show up full Deadpool denim at San Diego Comic-Con, and then you have this Hugh Jackson making a pitch to Kevin Feige with Ryan Reynolds off to the side, like feeding him lines, trying to get Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman into Doomsday as well. Like, I'm somewhere, some way, somehow, I feel like they're going to show up because I don't think you do this if they're not going to be in there. That's my personal opinion. Tony disagrees with me. I can tell by the face he is making.
But yeah, I'm for it. That's fine. Great. Awesome. Love it. No problem. Cool. I love Deadpool. I love Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. I love everything we've gotten from Deadpool in the MCU. Even if it's like to start the show and then someone just like half kills him, and then they actually start the movie or something like that. But at the same time, you're getting a ton of great media advertising and publicity, right, from Ryan Reynolds. And he's also carrying his own banner because he's going to get another movie moving forward. So they're really, one hand is really washing the other right now, regardless of whether he shows up in the movie. If he does, that'd be really cool to have an intertwining Deadpool thing that moves forward because they're going to need something because a lot of these people are going to be gone. A lot of these people are going to stop playing these characters after the end of this year, by the way. Ryan Reynolds doesn't seem to be one of those, and he's pretty important. So, and I know Dave's dying to jump in here.
No.
But I will say this: Deadpool is not a central Marvel character in a way that carries a story forward.
He could be used in a way that's way more important than a whole lot of other characters that are important.
As we get into this trailer, the line that Doom says in here that he directs to everybody, and you see let's just play it and then we can talk about it because I think that does tie into Deadpool and Wolverine as well. So here, let's take a look here.
Victor was always the smartest guy in every room. He used to be different. He used to be kind, he used to be caring. And then, everything he loved was taken from him. I knew he was lost, but I did not realize that he was broken.
Victor, did you do this?
All of you have lived stolen lives. But now you must give them back.
Answer me, Victor! Did you do this?
I swear you will beg for a hell long before I grant it. Hell answers to me. For I am Doom.
Whew.
I still need to get my tickets. By the way, I haven't done that yet.
So what I was saying is, when Doom says all of you have led stolen lives, now you must give them back. Wolverine and Deadpool fall right into that category. Anything involving time is going to be on the table in this. And I'll say this before I turn it over to you guys. I'm less convinced now of this Nomad story arc watching this, because now, well, Loki's there, but I'm talking about Cap, Steve Rogers, because now he's talking about, you lived this stolen life, Steve Rogers. You stole this life with Peggy. You must give that back now. So,
Loki spent more time than anybody. He changed time.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm just adding on.
No, anything involving time travel seems to be this focal central aspect of this. And you know, Reed's relationship with Victor, saying, you know, did you do this? Answer me. And that one scene where he says that, and you see Robert Downey's eyes looking at you through that Doom mask, because it's like, that's Tony Stark's eyes right there. You look at that, it's like, wow. But I agree with you, Tony. It's a goosebump eliciting moment. It is. I mean, and just, you know, I don't know if it's Sue's story that has everybody just like second guessing their own. It's an existential crisis going on at that moment. But yeah, I mean, if you weren't already amped for this movie after watching this and seeing what Doom is and why, and this is why, as much as I like Kang as a character, he does not have the heft and the gravitas that Dr. Doom does. And you see
but
that.
imagine if you could have built the Doom with Kang, right? Like, you didn't really get a lot of build for Doom. Like, you just got the end of Fantastic Four and a lot of speculation.
Oh yeah. You know? There's no build for Doom. I mean, it was like you're saying, the end of Fantastic Four, but does he need the build? And I'll defer to Pat on that, because I don't know if Doom, he's such an iconic character that, does he need that much of a build?
Yes, because he's never truly been on, like, his previous iterations were very bad.
True.
Like the 3 previous Fantastic Four movies, the 2 from the 90s and the Josh Trank disaster.
Don't talk about that last one, please.
Were not good. And
shame. Shame.
Yes, Josh Trank should wear shame. 100%.
Shame.
But my point here is I yes, people know who Dr. Doom is. Yes, Marvel fans know who Dr. Doom is. It's not going to stop them from coming to see the movie. I think that, again, the brilliance of the first 20 Marvel Cinematic Universe films was the way that Thanos was built, so that by the time you got to Infinity War, everybody was ready for this guy that we've seen floating around in the background. And that's what they were trying to do with Kang before Jonathan Majors' life got in the way of it. And I think that we're singing a different tune about Kang if Jonathan Majors' life doesn't get in the way of it. It fucked up so much of the MCU, like his personal life and that drama. And it's a risk. That's why they cast, in my opinion, it's why they cast Robert Downey Jr. in the first place, because that's a safe pick. Like that, there's no risk in that guy.
Well, Not now
anymore.
I mean,
No.
right in the past. Yeah.
The movie clout that he has now and the performance he has now has shown that he's going to be reliable. So, yes, I would have liked more of a build-up for Doom. I think they tried to lay that foundation back in the Fantastic Four by pointedly showing you repeatedly Latveria's chair was empty, that they never responded to anything, that they're not a part of anything. And then and then that last image is Doom with Franklin, and the dogs frankly agree with me. So it's just one of those things. Now, to this they called it a sneak peek, but it's really just another trailer, right? Like, I don't think that Sue was talking to a whole group of people. I think Sue was probably talking to like 3 people. But they use her voice over to show people looking serious and somber. I think that and all we have seen so far is the first third of the movie footage. I think the OG X-Men are fucking dead by the time we get to the back 2/3 of the movie, with the exception of maybe like Gambit. I think Cyclops is dumb like dinner. And here's why. Because we're about to talk about a bunch of people who just got introduced that are called the X-Men that aren't those X-Men. So I think they're like, this is a respectful casting and an acknowledgement of, again, stolen lives, as it were, before we get to this new generation of X-Men. We've seen the Thor hammer finger thing a couple of times now. That's been in both the trailers. Just reiterating, I am a little worried for Thor. I could see this being it for Hemsworth. Chris Evans has definitely said he's done after this run, like whether it be Secret Wars or otherwise.
Maybe they'll replace him with his brother. They can keep going, do something else with another
Stop that.
bullshit.
What I would love with the whole Thor story, you know what? Beta Ray Bill's out there. That's all I'm saying. Please don't do that other, like the fake Thor that they had in the 80s to do with the goatee. I can't remember his name, but he was fake Thor. There was like a time where Thor was gone and there was this other dude. It just didn't make sense. But no, I think this was great. This was another way to give people a taste. They didn't really do too much more than that, because then we quickly segued into Sadie Sink and Kevin Feige, and we got some things confirmed. We got a little bit of a head fake. I appreciated that with some X-Men casting reveals. Here's the thing that I appreciate from Kevin Feige. He said, this is not the entire cast. These are the people that we have cast so far. And he implied that they had literally like just met. Like backstage, like maybe that they knew that they were cast, but like that they had just met. And, obviously I think the biggest news bit is the reveal that, yes, Adam Driver has indeed been revealed as a villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I love the way they did it. They had him on a soundstage where he announces himself as Magneto before saying, just kidding, he's Nathaniel Milbury. But we all know that's going to be Nathaniel Essex and Mr. Sinister. They've all but said it, which I am far more on board with Tunney and Dave than I was. I just did not see him as a Magneto. I absolutely can see him as a Mr. Sinister. 1,000%. The other announcements, they had already announced Kit Connor as Cyclops, but he was out on the stage. Christopher Abbott, Mr. Aubrey Plaza, is Professor Charles Xavier. Confirmation that Samara Weaving is Emma Frost. Indy Neverett from Obsession is Rogue. And introducing primarily a stage actress, Maya Boyd, as Storm. And this also completely destroys the rumor that was floating around that this first movie was going to focus on the OG students for Charles Xavier, that it was going to be like a Cyclops, Iceman, Beast, like that Jean Grey. I can't remember who the other. Am I missing somebody? I am. Cyclops, Beast, Jean Grey,
I mean, is Wolverine? He's not originally.
Wolverine's not an original.
Original?
Like the original lineup of the X-Men.
How many were
5 of them? What? 5. Beast.
Is Colossus?
Nope.
No, Colossus comes
that's
later
Chris
on.
Claremont. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hey Siri, who were the original comic book X-Men?
I mean, Jean was like, wasn't she Miss Marvel back then?
Angel.
Angel.
How did I forget Angel? Shame on me.
Don't do it, Tony.
Do what?
So blasted a lot of those rumors. I'm not incredibly familiar with a lot of these. I've heard that what's her name from Obsession is amazing. I'm sure she'll do a great job as Rogue. Casting rumors around her were all over the place too. She had thrown out there, I kind of want to play Mystique. And I think that was on purpose to keep people away from Rogue. Instead, she's playing Mystique's adopted daughter. I hope that she gets to absorb Carol Danvers and get all of her abilities, become the superpower that she is, because she eventually becomes an Omega level mutant when she absorbs Carol Danvers' abilities as well and has flight, super strength, and basically is indestructible while also being able to take your powers away. But great way to end the panel. And we got to look at the new X-Men logo, which is very much, again, out of that sort of new X-Men look with the black and gold X-Corp sort of uniforms that they have in X-Men 97, for example.
So I got to acknowledge a comment in the chat about Havoc, but I'm not sure. So this dude who's commenting right now is actually my real world nephew. So
okay.
So
I mean, Havoc has not been announced, so we can't say that Havoc is there yet.
Yeah, I mean, interesting stuff, man.
Havoc was an original X-Men in X-Men First Class. They
Yes.
didn't go with Cyclops first. They went with Havoc. I remember that.
Yeah, I like the casting for Rogue because I still need to watch Obsession, but just kind of like watching the trailers and certain things about that, she's got that definite quality to her where she can be very subdued, refined, and then go full on crazy, which kind of like is how Rogue works, in certain places. So I think she could pull that off.
She was emotionally manipulated by her stepmother.
Yeah, exactly. So, go ahead, Tony.
Speaking of things to debate in the chat, who's the more powerful Danvers, Kara or Carol? Supergirl?
Well, Supergirl or Captain Marvel?
Or Captain Marvel.
Depends what universe we're in.
That's a good question, though, right?
Kara Danvers is not in the X-Men movie, though. So
no, okay. So,
I don't think
I'm sorry. We're supposed to be engaging the audience. My fault.
Carol Danvers won't be in the X-Men movie, will she? I don't think so.
No, maybe. We'll have to see. Again, it depends on what. We don't know anything about the story other than this is definitely going to have a lot of genetic manipulation because that is what Mr. Sinister does.
If the good guys really get into trouble, Dave, she'll show up.
Well,
otherwise,
just somebody. As long as somebody's got the right pager, you can
like
get a hold of her.
Fail safe, basically. Like if we're everything's been exhausted, and then here comes Captain Marvel. Like
famously J.R.R. Tolkien. Anytime that the heroes were in true danger, just send the fucking Eagles.
All right.
And then the Eagles take them wherever they need to go. The Eagles are coming. Why wasn't they there the whole time?
Tony doesn't know about that. But
well, because the story would have been over after episode 3.
Right.
The casting of Charles Xavier, I mean, how do you guys feel about that? I mean, that's stepping into a big role there,
I don't know the guy as an actor. I've never seen anything he's in, so it's hard for me to judge. And I'm literally about to look him up just because I don't know what he's starred in or how old he is.
I mean, either you're going to be every quarterback that followed every other Hall of Fame quarterback, or you're going to be, for lack of a better term, sorry, Patrick, you're going to be Aaron Rodgers following Brett Favre, and you're going to take over and have another great run as Professor X, right? So it's probably better off to have somebody who doesn't have a lot of notoriety.
So it's interesting because he's 40. Like literally right now, Christopher Abbott is 40. And Charles Xavier, in most iterations we've seen, presents more as somebody in his 50s or 60s at this stage in his life where he has the school for gifted youngsters. Again, I don't know what story they're going to tell, but if he's a 40-something-year-old teacher of a bunch of late teens, early 20-somethings, it does make sense. Gives you some longevity in the role, and it'll allow for a lot of opportunities. So I'm intrigued. I'm interested. Again, Aubrey Plaza dug him enough to marry him, and like they have kids together and stuff. So
you got to give him credit for that.
He's married to death, guys. He's married to death.
I like James McAvoy, who played Xavier in the first.
Oh,
he was great in First Class and Days of Future.
Yeah, but he actually got to marry the personification.
Yeah.
See, also Agatha all along.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys, for you.
Yeah, I mean, I like the casting. I mean, it does raise some questions, like you're saying with Doomsday, like how quick do we kill these guys, and like how many times can we kill off X-Men before they're officially here?
Well, it's funny that you brought that up because I wanted to know: does Kevin Feige sit in his office and be like, "How can I kill Tom Hiddleston this week?"
Yeah,
because Loki keeps fucking Loki's died in his own show. He died in Infinity War. Doesn't look like it's gonna go so well for him this time too. Boy, Tom just keeps coming back. Apparently, like I said, he's in Vision Quest, so that'll be interesting as well.
He also has He also has a special on Pompeii right now.
I know. I wanted to watch it before we actually went to Pompeii, and I didn't get a chance to. The old Mr. O'Dowd got to though. He told me all about it. So it's good. Okay. Well, let's close the book on the entertainment panel for Destination D23. It's very interesting how much power Disney has over the entertainment news industry because, like, Variety's feed right now, for example, is nothing but Destination D23 news, and every Hollywood Reporter, all those. That's where we are right now. So Disney, still the monster, still the boss until somebody else tells them otherwise. When it comes to controlling a news cycle. I don't care how hard other companies try. And I feel like this was a pretty strong, solid panel. Now, granted, it's presented in front of a friendly audience and a lot of things to get people excited. But I think that, it was a very strong, solid panel and good to move forward to. So be interesting to see how these films and these shows and these series play out. And a lot of good stuff to be excited for. All right. Let's head into our final segment of the show. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Was that the dog not agreeing with me?
One of the dogs was hacking up a lung. So
she did not like the idea. She also does not like Ryan, or not Ryan. I almost said Ryan Seacrest.
Ryan Seacrest.
Ryan Gosling. She's not excited about Starfighter either. That's what that sounded like.
Apparently, he's.
Let's head into what you're watching. This week we will start with PC Tony. What you watching, bud?
Watching Little League World Series is on. Always enjoy that.
What'd you think of the umpire ejecting a coach at a Little League World Series game? What are we doing, man?
I honestly didn't see it. The big thing I saw was the number one thing on SportsCenter top 10 was when the kid leaped over the catcher and scored. I didn't know you could do that because it used to be you had to slide at a play at the plate, but they must have adjusted it for no. But anyway, it's just so fun to see these kids and their interactions too off the field are great too. It reminds Patrick and I of Dave's gone past. Dave, I don't know, did you play Little League baseball growing up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So all of us, right? Like having that weird sponsorship on the back of your jersey, and then maybe your team won and they got to go on, or it was an all
back of your jersey. My team was called. We were called the Moose. We were sponsored by the local Moose Lodge.
Okay. So we were just like a major league team, and we were the New York Mets with like such and such sponsorship or whatever, So
didn't the Bad News Bears get sponsored by like Chico's bail bonds or something?
Yeah, probably, right? But just the bond you build with like people that like the crazy thing too about it, and it's for the girls World Series too, which they do a great job of the softball World Series side, is you might go to a different school or something. One might go public, one might go private. You might be at a different public school but live across the street, but you end up in the same little league. So you meet new friends and meet new people that you end up going to high school or later on in life knowing. So it's just a brilliant thing they do. The way they cover it is excellent. You think about the people that have come from it and actually gone on to play in Major League Baseball. So it's always a good time. I'm always happy to see it. The sportsmanship we've seen from it has been an example to professionals across all sports, by the way, along the years. The other sporting thing I've been watching is the PGA playoffs are on right now, so I'm enjoying that. And Madden came out, so I'm playing that. Listen to DWI, and DP and I will have our review this coming week on the new edition of Madden Football.
Sorry, one last thing about the Doomsday trailer. We didn't mention it. You officially saw Scott Lang back in the fold as well. In the footage of people with their children. That was Scott was in there, as was Johnny Storm, Clutch and Franklin. So anyway, go ahead. Dave, what you watching, bud?
So this week, I was going to say about the Little League World Series, man, get used to Little League World Series because there ain't going to be any pro baseball for a while, kids. After this year, it's going to be a long time before you see the pros come back. That's my unfortunate prediction. But one of the movies I watched, and I bought it a while ago, and I know it showed up on Apple this week, ironically enough, but the movie Arrival with Amy Adams, which I had not seen before, but it's a Denis Villeneuve directed thing. Really a different take on the whole alien. I won't even say alien invasion because that's not what's going on in that movie, but very interesting take on time travel and kind of the the non-linear nature of time. So I people have been telling me to watch that forever, so I finally got a chance to watch that, and still going through Ted Lasso season 3, about halfway through. Very much enjoying Ted Lasso season 3. I'm looking forward to getting into season 4. It is Zava for the win, right? Until he retires, fucking Zava, man. It's just, but that's pretty much it. I mentioned earlier watching the X-Men animated series. So
cool.
One last time, we got to shout out Game Gone Wrong too, Dave.
Yeah, we did. We've been watching, obviously, House of the Dragon. Season 3 came to a conclusion, and that was a tremendous season of Game of Thrones-esque adventure. So I can't put that show over enough.
So you mentioned you're catching up on Ted Lasso. I am caught up on Ted Lasso. I've been watching season 4. I've watched the first 2 episodes. It's like a warm, familiar blanket. Honestly, it's a good show. It's still great. Very entertaining. Interesting to see where it goes. First episode, just trying to get you back into it. And the second one, we finally returned to the pitch, and it's familiar but different because he's coaching a women's team this time around, and some of those challenges and relationships and how that's going to change. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Interested in seeing where that goes. I mentioned this earlier in the program. I have been watching a lot of YouTube influencer, Disney influencer videos this weekend as they kind of share everything that they've seen at Destination D23 as guests. And people know this about me and Dave. Like we talked about theme parks in the middle of this, but one of the other big parts of Destination D23 is this live stream that they're going to be doing as we're recording here tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern time is the Experiences Expo, Experiences panel, which is parks and things that people go and see and do. And this is where you start to learn about progress on various projects that they're already working on, blue sky projects, which are their ideas that may or may not happen, and just where they are in the planning of things. And there's a lot of there's a showcase floor that people are able to walk around that's put out by all the Imagineers. And it shows model renderings of all the rides and park additions that they're working on. And there's some really great stuff happening. And this is the biggest day for park fans in the Disney sphere, and so that is streaming tonight. I'm looking forward to watching that. And then tomorrow night, there's two things that are coming out of D23. One is something that was already recorded, but is going to be on Disney's like Magical World of Disney show tomorrow. So they held it for Disney Plus until then, and that is a concert. They did a Disney Princesses Celebration concert where they pulled out so many of the actresses and voice actresses that have done Disney princess characters over the years, dating as far back as Jodie Benson, who is the voice of Ariel from The Little Mermaid, all the way through, and I can't ever remember the young woman's name, but the woman who does the voice of Moana, both live action versions and animated versions. And so like Brandy, for example, who played Cinderella in a live action musical version of Cinderella back in the 90s. Like she's in there, like so many great things. That's going to be really fun. That's airing tomorrow night on ABC at 8:00 Eastern and on Disney Plus. And then their Legends, their 2026 Disney Legends ceremony also is that evening, airing live on ABC, or I think live on Disney Plus. So fun stuff. That's really where my world has been the last few weeks or last few days. Sorry.
So one last thing I wanted to add about stuff we're watching in the future. I am going to see The End of Oak Street tonight, so I will report back to you guys on how that is next week.
Right. Well, and it'll be just the two of you because I have to work. So
I know.
So that'll be a Dave and Tony special. They always seem to find a guest to fill in as well, so I'm sure they'll work on it. Dave, I find you so important. I don't replace you when you're gone.
I appreciate that.
I'd just like the two of you to let that marinate.
No, I appreciate that, but I yield to PC Tunney and whatever he does in the background.
I don't always replace you. I mean, it's just you had 2 weeks, and so we scheduled it ahead of time. You let us know, so I was like, okay.
You are irreplaceable. We just try to fill the void as best as we can on a week-to-week basis.
You know, it's a litany of failures on this podcast.
Again now.
Message received. Okay. So there's that. But we will be embarking on Lanterns. Lanterns does debut tomorrow on HBO. They'll cover episode 1, start to investigate that, get into the brass tacks and dig dirty on that. So enjoy that as well. But that is going to do it for this Saturday edition of Bandwagon Nerds. Before we get out of here, gentlemen, tell or show everyone how they can find and follow you out there in the interwebs. PC Tunney is just pointing at his handle at PC Tunney. So follow him there.
The old world order. For me,
he likes his dragon. He loves to drink. Sometimes, no, that's not even it. Damn it, I fucked it up. Go ahead.
Best thing to do for me is just go here. attitudeofaggression.com. That is the best way to interact and follow all the stuff going on over at the website. So yeah, and of course, you go to the YouTube channel. Please subscribe and turn on notifications and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, make sure you're also following at Chairshot Media. So you can follow all things Chairshot. That's also a great thing. Check out our site. And again, follow, subscribe in all of your various social media platforms to keep track of what we're up to. You can follow me on the social medias at Wrestling Realist. That is at WRESTLNGREALIST. And you can follow me on Mondays, Tuesdays, and most Wednesdays. Mondays talking nerdy stuff with these guys. Tuesdays talking sports with David Ungar. Wednesdays talking grown-ass man stuff on the Grown-Ass Man podcast with Craig DeMarco when we feel like it. I will be also guesting on DJ's podcast in the near future to talk about the childhood trauma that is Transformers the movie.
Oh boy.
Oh, and I got stories. I can't wait to talk about the history and the story behind that movie. It really is fascinating stuff.
75-minute edition of 30 mindless minutes.
No, I'll give him 30 mindless minutes. I won't go too far. Well, maybe 45. We'll see how it goes. But so stay tuned for that. And that is going to do it for this week's edition of Bandwagon Nerds. So thank you everyone for listening. Now get yourself out of the basement, get some sun, and check out everything that has happened in Destination D23. A lot of great news, a lot of stuff that is relevant to this podcast. You won't regret it. Thank you, everyone. This has been Bandwagon Nerds here as a part of the Chairshot Radio Network on thechairshot.com.